Alright guys, so we're giving away a copy of FIFA 21 completely free to site subscribers on foottrading.co.uk. One of you will win that, just as a way of saying thank you for all the incredible support that we have had this year. We're also giving away a 1-year subscription to another lucky site subscriber. So make sure, if you've been debating doing it up till now, if you just want to learn how the FIFA market works, £10 for a tier 1 subscription that gives you buying prices for over, I think now, 2,000 cards in total on this game. Pretty much all of the cards that cover the algorithm are there. So make sure you hit it up, whatever you do. But let's get into this video. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, please do consider subscribing down below. Clicking the like button, all that good stuff. It's massively appreciated. Over half of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. It means a massive amount for the channel and helps us to continue to grow. If you do click that subscribe button, you get consistent content, especially moving to FIFA 21. It's my aim and my goal to help you all make millions of coins like we did in FIFA 20. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to get involved in that. As always, click the link down below and come over to Twitch if you wanted to see me do any of the stuff that I'm talking about and do live here. One of the fastest growing FIFA channels over there, so make sure you click the link and get involved. And finally, make sure you check out Fuzzy Garms, our second channel, where me and my brother show you guys about how we make money from vintage clothing. We buy and sell it every single day and how you can make money in real life as well as on FIFA. But this video is to talk a little bit about the changes coming for FIFA 21. It looks very promising, very positive. There's still some stuff I want to see confirmed to really boost up my sort of feeling towards it, but I am extremely hyped about FIFA 21. I feel like we may finally be getting listened to. But I'd always take it with a pinch of salt. Everyone does this every year. They spend the year sort of half complaining. Well, this year's been a lot of complaints, rightly so, about the game. But everyone complains about the game, and then if the new one's coming out, everyone gets hyped about it, and then the complaints start again. So for me, I've made a personal sort of mission of mine to not be so negative. As long as the game's improved from this year, I don't feel bad for this year being a bit like, what the hell about this game, because it's been a bit terrible. It's been pretty terrible for most of the time. It's picked up recently, but I want to try and be more positive and just try and take the good sides out of the game as much as I possibly can. But without further ado, let's get into talking about bits and bobs. I'm going to show you a Twitter account who knows what he's talking about and then discuss those points. I will be right back. Alright guys, so I'm on the Twitter account of FootDonk. If you haven't followed him yet, make sure you go and drop him a follow. Dennis Foot as well, Footwatch, they're really good for leaking stuff. I don't leak stuff, I don't claim to leak stuff. Like, for me, I'll just talk about what they leak. I don't have inside knowledge of EA. Just don't, and not too stressed about that. I still quite like having the excitement of seeing what a promo is going to drop. I tend to avoid things like this when there is a promo. However, let's talk about some of the stuff that has been confirmed so far and the stuff that is relevant to what I think I care about and what I think actually matters in the game. So the first one is 12 new icons. Samuel Eto'o and CANTONA have both been confirmed so far. There's a few more people are saying these are confirmed, but I'm going to wait until people that I know and rely upon, like Donk, come out and say, yes, this has been confirmed. Eto'o, I'm extremely happy with. Number one, he was an incredible player. Number two, I think we need more African players and players that aren't, without being blind, that aren't white on the game. We need more of that representation on the game. So I'm extremely happy about that. CANTONA, I find a weird one. Would I consider CANTONA like a legend of the game, an icon of the game? I don't think I would. I'm going to say, I think he's more of a club legend for United. Played for Leeds, obviously. Do I think he's on the par of some of the icons in this game? Not in my opinion. I think it's one to appease United fans to a degree. Don't get me wrong, an incredibly good, gifted footballer, but do I think he's an icon? But the icon things is all well and good, but for me it has to be in conjunction with the icon SBCs coming back. Icon swaps this year did not work for me. I didn't like them. EA's aim with icon swaps this year was to make icons more accessible to the community. That did not work. It meant icons that were lower tier and okay were more accessible, but the actual like good top tier icons were inaccessible for a lot of players in the game this year. If you look at the prices of icons like R9 from this year to last year, R9 is far more expensive this year, and that is a massive problem, and that's not okay. You should be making them as accessible as you want to be, and the way you make them accessible is to bring back icon SBCs again. We've not had any confirmation of this yet. We probably won't get any confirmation until like August, maybe later, as to whether or not we're going to get these cards, so fingers crossed we do. But yeah, 12 new icons is cool. Real world referees added, meh. Cosmetic stuff's nice, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind cosmetic stuff, but firstly, Mike Dean's been confirmed, I can't stand Mike Dean. But unlike real world referees, does anyone really care that much about that? Like, it's kind of cool, but the cosmetic stuff I think isn't too much of a problem. The game looks good this year, it just didn't play very well. Having said that, I will say one thing now. EA have put in a new data centre in the UK, and the gameplay for the last 2 weeks, in my opinion, has been sensational. It's been responsive, it has done what it needed to do. So my only thought process with FIFA 20 is if EA trying stuff out, seeing what worked, what didn't, what they needed to do, and they've started to implement that stuff now. If that's the way things have gone, it does bode well for FIFA 21. It really does. Content-wise, we've still got a long way to go. I know a few people that know Jamie Foot economists are like, oh, it's not his fault, but no, it is his fault. He's a content manager, so it comes down to him. It falls on his shoulders. So hopefully this year we can see a bit more, I guess, engagement with the community and more, I guess, fairer SBCs. A lot of the SBCs this year, from my opinion, were not okay. And I made the point already that Icon SBC we've just got with the moments, and it isn't okay. It's way too expensive. This is the big one though. FIFA points have a cap spend control now, so you can cap the amount of FIFA points you're allowed to spend. Massive, massive, massive step forward, and GG's to EA for this. There is a but to that though. The but is that relies upon EA and people using that control. So a lot of gambling companies, sort of bookies and things like that, have these caps and controls, and they are known to make a difference. They do make a difference. Do they eradicate the problem full stop? No, not at all. Is it always the responsibility of the gambling companies or of EA to make sure people aren't gambling too much? No, not necessarily either. They are a business, they've got to make money. People do need to take responsibility for their own actions. But I think it's a massive step forward. I think more could be done. I personally would like the sort of the idea that's been muted about, which is people that are under 18 that get the game have to put something in that shows their age somehow to allow them access to things like FIFA points. So we're not getting a problem with underage gambling, which is a massive, massive problem in the UK right now. I'd like to see that happen. But I'm not going to sit here and complain about it because it is a massive, massive step forward from EA. And I congratulate them for it. They've listened. They've taken it on board. I think it was going that way anyway. I think governments and sort of organisations are looking at these things and starting to talk more and more about loot boxes and FIFA points in that general. You know, sort of COD do, what is it, the COD packs, I can't remember the name of them, but supply drops I think they're called. So for me, that is a step forward. So GG to EA for that, and I'm a massive fan of that. Weekend League now, top 200, not top 100. Good and bad. My problem with the top 100 situation on EA is when you've got a system whereby people are missing out on the basis of skill rating, I don't like it. What I think should happen on FIFA is if you get 30 wins and someone else gets 30 wins, you get the same awards. You should get the exact same awards as someone else who got 30 wins. I don't see a reason why that isn't a thing. If you get 29 wins, you get the same awards as someone else gets 29 wins. And I think the rewards should be, we don't know yet because there's no confirmation as to how the rewards are going to work. I think they should be based upon the amount of wins you get, not the rank you get. So if you get 23 wins, same award as someone who gets 23 wins, 22 wins, 22 wins, and so on and so forth. What the top 200 does do though, it allows for those people who may miss out on top 100 on skill rating to actually get in and get those sort of awards. It'd be interesting to see what the rewards are going to be this year because I think that's massively important. I think having a top 200 is great if you're going to make the rewards balance out and be the way they should be, which is really, really cool. Next one. Rival rank games are capped at 40, which is a massive, 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 massive success because it does diminish the ability for people to relegate themselves for objectives. My but to this is you can continue playing the games. It gets you skill point. It gets you skill points or ranking, but it doesn't affect. I think it doesn't affect your promotion. I can't remember exactly how they're doing it. The problem that I have with capping it at 40. Firstly, realistically, doesn't that many people play 40 games in a week? I know I don't. I know most people don't. But it still, for me, doesn't diminish people being able to relegate themselves. And it says to me that we're not getting a specific area for people to do objectives. And I still don't like that. I think there should be an area whereby you go and do objectives in that area. And that is what you do. It shouldn't be done in rivals. And capping it at 40 doesn't stop people from relegating. Because they could just relegate once a week and then relegate next week. I barely even play with rivals. I barely play it unless there's an objective I really want. I don't do it. There's nothing really to stop myself, relegate myself down a little bit, waiting for an objective I like and doing it. And so for me, I still believe we need a place where objectives are paid for. That's where it should be. And I have a problem that's still not quite the case yet. Is it the end of the world? No, not really. But I don't like people relegating themselves. I've refused to do it this year. I did a lot of my icon swap stuff that I did. I did it in Div 1. So I'm not going to relegate myself down for it. But it is a step forward again. It is a step forward again. I am a fan of it without a doubt. I still think more work's needed on it. But what all this stuff is, there's no one to talk about objectives like reworked, but we don't really know a huge amount about that right now, so I'm not too stressed about that. What this does say to me though is that EA have listened, and it's rare that I'll say that, but I think we all knew about the FIFA points issue. It is a massive, massive issue. And it seems to me like although the hand has been slightly forced into doing it, they are listening and saying, okay, cool. this is what we're going to do as a company. So I'm a fan of that. The weekend league is a big thing. I've seen people that I know that are top class players miss out on top 100 for skill rating, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. The rivals capping, at least it's an attempt to make things better. But I think there's a long way to go. There's still a long way to go. And as things get released and bits come, it'll be interesting to see what the sort of general menus of the game look like. And that's really the menus there. I do want to just talk briefly in a second about the gameplay itself and a couple of awesome things that I've seen. They will be awesome if the gameplay works the way it should do and not the way it's worked for most of this year. So we'll talk about that right now. Alright guys, so first change the gameplay that I want to talk about is arguably one of the more important ones for me, and that is this. Now, you'll see this here as whatever this is. This is the ability, apparently, the ability to be able to not take an advantage. So stop play and take a free kick. I love this. Advantages on FIFA are shocking. They don't work. I've been saying this all year. The advantage that stands on FIFA right now is poor. So you'll be on the edge of someone's area. They're playing one depth drop back. You can either have a free kick that you can aim at goal and try and score from, or try and break down 9 men. It's not really an advantage. And in real life, the referee probably would have stopped play at that point. There's not really an advantage there. This I love. I think it's a really clever, simplistic way to fix what is a problem on the game. So again, GG to the gameplay team at EA for this. Massive fan of it. I think it's we needed that for ages. So it's really, really good. The only problem I'm going to have is how responsive it is. From what I've heard, it's not the most responsive at the moment, and the sort of positioning of the foul is way off at the moment. So you'll get fouled and it goes back 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. So it has to be pinpoint accurate. Because if you're thinking, right, I've got a chance to shoot from here, and then the game drags you back 5 yards, well, have you really got a chance to shoot from there? Not really. But that's the first point that I really, really do like. Next thing to talk about is going to be the creative passing, I think they're calling it. So I'll be right back with that. Alright guys, so we're back on the account of Donk again, and this to me is absolutely brilliant and exciting to see. It's just how it plays in the game that matters. So there's apparently a new thing called creative runs in FIFA 21, and basically it allows you to tell your striker that's not on the ball, or player that's not on the ball, where to run. Now, it's been a massive problem for years with this. I remember this year when it first started FIFA 20, and it was this intelligent player, intelligent AI, and it's anything but. The amount of times I pick a ball up and my Richarlison decides to hide behind the 3 defenders rather than getting into space or making a run that's decent. I like this a lot. I like this a lot because it allows you to tell the player where you want the player to go. My question mark is how well it's going to play in game with the gameplay as it's been recently, and if it's going to be something that's going to be ridiculously complicated, or if it's legitimately going to work at all. Because for FIFA 20, we were promised all this. We were promised that players would automatically make the right runs and sort of pick the balls up at the right time, and it'd be really intelligent and really smart, and it was anything but. Especially the attacking on this game, I really sometimes cannot stand it. So I pick the ball up, and I'm like, right, perfect, I've got a through ball for Lucas, and all Lucas does is run into a defender rather than bending his run and making a run around it. So we need to see what it does. But this could be massive. Because if you are an attacking player, it will reward you. And the whole of FIFA 20 has been very negative, very defensive, very sit back, one depth. If you've got the ability to start controlling those attackers a bit more and counteract that a little bit, that's very, very good. That's exactly what we need to see. We need to see different play styles, different types of FIFA player in general. So it's not the same one-size-fits-all approach. And that could be massive. I think that could be absolutely brilliant. It's just how it plays in the long run. That's really what it comes down to. How will it play in the long run? The most important thing to note about all this stuff, though, is it is a beta. We are in beta at the moment. It isn't done. There's a lot to come still on the game that we're still waiting to find out about. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself too far. Nor am I getting too disappointed with certain stuff that's happening. We've probably got August when stuff's going to start to really ramp up in terms of feature designs and finding out more detail. And then into September, and then obviously the launch in October. But it is only 2 months away, and 2 months will go like that. It will go so quickly. I just hope that we bring FIFA back to the community a little bit. Simplistically for me, Icon SBCs have to come back. They have to come back. They need to come back, and it needs to be exactly what it should be. That's the most important thing for me, allowing people to grind the game and all that sort of good stuff. But that is going to be the end of the video. If you are new around here, please do consider subscribing down below. Click the like button, all that good stuff. It's massively appreciated. But for now, lads, I'm out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.